I mean, I'm good. You don't seem too good.
All right, I'm as good as I'm gonna be.
Oh my God. So, Ekin, is this how it's gonna be for this whole episode? You're just gonna be mean to me and grumpy and grouchy.
Oh, so I'm mean to you? Is that how we're starting the show? We could either start the show or we could start the show. Let me know however you want to go. I can go however you wish to go.
Okay, well, I'm ready for whatever.
Would you like to get? We can
get into it.
We figured that we're amongst family. We'll just get into it. I mean, I wasn't gonna bring it to the show, but if you want to bring it to the show, then we can bring it to the show.
I mean, we're here, and I feel like that's why your stinking attitude is showing right now.
My attitude is stinking. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do this because I feel like oftentimes men don't do this. Men don't listen to what the actual issue that is supposedly going on with them. And for those of you who are here constantly that we like to call family, and of course our definite family here, Jason, who is now into this, welcome to Southern Hospitality. I am DJ Ekin, of course, Tampa's most connected DJ, and of course the kind of lovely Brittany Gonzalez.
Today I'm there.
Yeah. Well, I'll listen. Since you said my attitude is stinking, let's just start the show off there. Why do you feel that my attitude is stinking?
Well, I feel like since the last time we spoke, and okay, what Ekin's not telling you is that we are in a weird, awkward spot right now because I haven't spoken to him since I last texted him because there was a situation where I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it. Should I just go?
Hey, I am okay. You know me. I am very okay with wherever you'd like to go. I am very much okay. But do this. Don't prerequisite like Ekin just has an attitude out of the blue. Please don't do that part. No, at least give him a fair assessment of what's really going on here.
Okay, so this is what happened basically, and I feel like, look. I'll just get into it because otherwise it's all right. So Ekin posted a picture of me and him. Me and Ekin go way back, right? So Ekin posted a picture of him and I for the podcast, and we were hugging each other, right? We were out. It was a photo that we took pre-Rona. Okay, this was before the Rona. We were at Gasparilla, I think, and we took a photo together. So
can I stop you for a second?
Okay.
Because I don't know what you're looking at, but we're not actually hugging each other. Here's what happens in the picture. You are standing there, and I walk up behind you like I so often do, and I just hug you around your neck real quick. The dude takes a picture, and we're gone. Like I'm back to hosting the party, DJing. There is no we're prerequisite in this thing, and almost and I'm gonna have to repost the picture probably after this happens. But it's almost sounding as if like we're in some embracing hug. That ain't what we're in.
It was a photo. It was like, hey, the photographer's like, hey, let me get a picture of y'all. Y'all obviously know each other. So we both look at the camera. Now, here's the thing. I remember when we took this photo, Ekin, the way he's in the back, and it's kind of like a hug. I don't even remember, to be honest. Something like that. It's some sort of a half hug. It's not like your arms are like this, but
exactly.
You're not just standing there like.
No, I'm not doing that because my love for you is bigger than that. Like I go way back with you. Like I have no problem telling people I love you or used to love you, something like that.
Oh my God.
My love for you is deeper than just like, oh, this is a picture. You are family to me. So my reaching around your neck to hug you, that's what it is. It's nothing more. It's almost like a sister, cousin, bestie. It's that type of thing.
I agree.
Right. That's what it is to me. Now, again, what I don't want to happen when you're telling this story is that it's like we had some embracing hug. It could have been real questionable because I'm the king of understanding what questionable is. I can make things real questionable. That's how I feel inside. I feel like I literally walked up on you. You're standing there. It's like, yo, let's take this picture. So I put my arm around you like your neck pretty much, and we take a picture. Now, you can go on with the story. I'll stop again. I'll be the guy who listens. I don't want you to feel like as though you can't get a word in. Yeah,
but you're right. You're right because you're right. In describing that photo, you are absolutely right. Now, there is nothing wrong with this photo in my eyes, in your eyes. We know it was a photo like we were hanging out like we always do. Boom, there's a photographer. No big deal. Move on. Next day. Well, Ekin recently reposted that photo, and I have a boyfriend who had a problem with it.
Can I raise my hand and stop you one more time?
Okay, go ahead, because I thought you were listening, but okay.
But I am listening, but I feel like, seriously, and this is, again, I am listening, but I do feel like as you tell this story, things should be put into context. That's and honestly and truly, my love for you will not change. But if I'm being perfectly transparent, that is where I have a major issue with what we're going through right now. So that's why I want to add context to this story as you're telling it. So now, you were at the part of I reposted the photo. The reason I want to stop you here is because there is a reason that I posted the photo. And the reason I posted the photo is because we had an episode of the podcast drop and I wanted everybody to know, hey, go check out our podcast. And a very big phrase, that's a very big caption that's going around on Instagram right now is felt cute, might delete later. So I took the picture and went, might drop a podcast later, because that is the promotion of us. That's how we move. That is it. And that's why I'm stopping you. Not to say that what you're telling is a lie, but I just want to keep everything within context. Because
you're absolutely right.
Right. So there you go. Now it's your turn.
Yeah. So it was for the podcast. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that because I did say that earlier in the beginning. So it was a photo. Again, it was to promote the podcast. No issue with it. Whatever. Double tap. Move on. Of course, I get a text later about that same post from my boyfriend. And it doesn't look like we're friends. This has nothing to do with the podcast. So in his eyes, just seeing the photo, because you and I know, Ekin, that I knew it was nothing. I had no problem with the photo to begin with. Okay. Then him seeing it and him feeling like, well, it looks like you're together with him. It just looks weird. And, and he has all these concerns. And I'm like, okay, I know it's nothing. I know it's no problem. Let me get ahead of this issue because I know it's going to be, first of all, I was not going to come to you with it. I really wasn't. I never do. I've had this issue before, not with this guy, but with boyfriends, anytime I take a photo, girls take photos with men. It's always a problem in relationships, no matter what. It just happens. Okay. So, and I've kept this to myself so many times and I never bother the other person because I know what it is. So this particular time I said, oh, this is going to create a long-term argument. This is going to be a whole thing that it's nothing. So what is it to say, you know what, Ekin, this is what's going on. Just delete the photo. I don't even want to argue with him. He is wrong. But at the same time, I have to be considerate. When you're in a relationship, you have to be considerate of the other person's feelings. And that's what I normally don't do because I'm always like, no, like I'm very stubborn. And this one time, which is funny, Ekin, because I've actually had this issue with you with another boyfriend that I never told you about. But because people don't understand our friendship. Like, we really rock with each other. Like, we know each other anyway. So that's the whole reason that I had to come to you and, like, humble myself and be like, look, just can you please delete the photo because it's going to cause more problems. And I don't want to deal with it. I don't like arguing. I don't make time to argue. I pulled the friend card. Like, Ekin, I need you an emergency friend card. Like, can you please do this for me? And I totally understand why you were like so bothered by it because, it was just a picture. It was about the podcast. And I don't know. I'm talking a lot. Okay, I'll let you speak because I feel like I'm going in circles now.
No, yeah. And honestly, like I appreciate the fact that on this platform right here that we're working on and creating, that we're having this kind of an open discussion. And I feel that the longer that we are friends, the longer that we are whatever we wind up being, because you are super close to me and I super value you, that we are going to have disagreements. My deepest problem with this disagreement, though, was not so much about you and the concerns for your relationship. That was never the problem I had, because the very reason that I want to be open about the things that we do is because I know how it can be when you work with a guy. We laugh about work husbands and we let people, not just us, but I mean the memes and everything that goes around. And social media can be a major issue in a relationship. My issue with it, and a deep, deep issue with it, is because I don't know this guy. I've never met him. And being so close to you, I've heard gripes about different things. But what I never do, and what I will never do, not even at this point, is when you're talking, my job is to listen. When you talk about whatever, whether it's something you're upset about, it maybe at the job one day, some days you just need, Ekin, be this ear. I don't give you a lot of feedback of like, man, you should drop that dude. You should quit that job. I don't, because my thing is, you could be going through something at that particular time, need to get through it. And people have issues. If you're around anybody that you care about, my own mother, I have issues sometimes, but I will never stop loving her. I will never not pick up the phone when she calls. That's just the way it is. My deepest issue with this is, again, starting with the fact that I don't know this dude. Second of all, I have watched the progression of this dude and my social media. which means I told you the minute that I saw him start following me. I told you he was only liking things and he was only showing himself on things of my social media that had to do with you. Oh. And not making comments. He wasn't, and I'm not, this is not about he did anything bad, but I noticed that he was there because I do know who he is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So then the issue now is, to me, it's like, now you're in a whole new place because now you're making comments and about things that aren't even a problem that have to do with my business. This is my business here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a Brittany Ekin thing that, like, if you call me and need me, I'm gonna be there. But then there's also the Brittany Ekin that is this business thing that we have of being on time for the podcast, promoting the podcast, making the show as dope as we can for the people that rock with us. And I feel he's interfering with that because my problem, like I said, innocentness aside, like, bruh, you when you start doing this, now you're in a place like I literally, like, seriously, I blocked them.
Yeah.
Now you're really gonna have to wonder, and because I felt like now you're in. I don't date you, bro. I don't date you. And again, I know some dudes are foul, but I'm not that dude. You came when you came and even spent that weekend. And again, this may be putting a lot out there, so you can tell me.
No, it's not. Go ahead. Yeah, I've seen that at your house.
He FaceTimed you, right? You answered. I got nothing to be like, what you, yo, hey, if he would have spoke or I would have spoke, hey man, how you doing, man? Hey, what's up? Because that's how I feel about it. That's your guy. If I come to Fort Myers and we're going to dinner, bring him. Hey bro, let's have dinner. Let's do a shot because that's your guy, which means to me, he is family. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're family. So if they're in your circle, they fam. Even them thieving ass girls you got. If they come around, I'm gonna watch them, but I know that some of them might steal. I mean, that's another story, but still. I mean, and that is why I feel like if you know me, if you even remotely know me, you know how I am about this game. And I've always said I had it in my own relationship. Sometimes I wish I would have handled things a little bit differently, but social media will have you putting people's lives together in two pictures when you should just talk to that goddamn.
I agree, Ekin, and that's the thing. Like everything you're saying, I agree with. I truly do, and it was really hard for me to come to you with that at the same time. When, like I said,
because you know I'm an asshole. That's why you didn't come, because you know I'm an asshole, and I was going, and I. Let me tell you something right now.
I'm listening.
I typed it to you. I love you. I don't do this. I don't discuss my social media with people. I just don't. I don't have time because it's not enough for me. But to keep the commotion down, and I want him to hear this, I took it down because I don't want you guys arguing over what I consider, and excuse me because I'm trying to cut the cursing down, dumb shit. I just don't. But it will be the last time. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel. Because I don't have anything to gain by ruining what we have, trying to make you feel uncomfortable sexually. I just don't.
I agree. And that's the thing. Like, you know, I had to talk with him and it's like, okay, I like, that's got to be the only photo that would bother him. But at the same time, I'm not interrupting work. Like, that was the one time I had to, like I said, it was an emergency card I had to pull. I feel like everybody's got one of those, you know, and I never pull it, and I had to. And it's just one of those things, Ekin, like I said, I wanted to get ahead on the whole argument. And this would have been long term. This wouldn't have been like, oh, we argue about it, fight, and then it's done. It would have been like always that one thing. Oh, well, you never stood up for me. You never took down that photo. And I just didn't want it to go there, you know, like it's, yeah.
Well, have you looked at your own social media lately?
What about it?
I mean, have you looked at it?
I mean, I posted, so yeah.
So you've seen it. You've seen it. You have seen it. And I don't mean this in a bad way because I like your pictures. I'm supporting you. I like your pictures. I told you I support your movement on social media. And I would tell you if it gets like Brittany, you're a little questionable. But have you seen your social media?
I know.
Have you seen it? Like, I mean, let me ask you one more time. Maybe you're not getting it. Have you happened to look at your own social media? I mean, some of the bathing suit pictures, you know, like, you know, those faces you make, you know, some of those dances you do. Have you seen your social media?
Yeah, that's me.
I know it's you, and it's a very respectful you. Like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm not saying this to say it like it's a derogatory thing, but I'm thinking of all the pictures that are posted of you on your own social media. I got singled out. Is it because I'm black? Is that what it is? It's because I'm black. That's exactly what it is. It's because I'm black.
No, I apologize, Ekin. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry, and I have nothing more to say about.
You got something more to say. You know what you got to say? When you see me, you got to say whatever drinks he wants, he gets. That's what you got to say.
You're right.
That's what you got to say. If you want to know what you got to say, whenever we go to eat, finally, when I see you again, whatever he decides to order, he's good. That's what I want you to say.
I will say that. You're right. What do you want me to argue with you? You're right.
And you should also thank Jason, because I talked to Jason because I was like, Jason, do I bring this to the show? And he's always the level-headed part. He's not seen a lot in what goes on, what we do, but he's always pretty level-headed. And I just didn't know which way to go. I mean, you kind of opened it up for us.
For real.
I was gonna duck out on like 3 weeks of episodes at first. I just wasn't gonna talk to you. I just wasn't.
Oh my God. And I had a feeling you were gonna do that. So that's why I was like, let's just talk about it. Let's just get into it, because I'm not afraid of confrontation or disagreements. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I was wrong, but this is why I did what I did. Yeah, But
you do realize that all you did was move the recurring bring up thing. You just moved it to me, right? You do realize that, right? Because every so often I'll be like, hey, yo, Brittany, remember you made me take that picture down? That's what's going to happen now. Like,
my God. Why?
Because that's what you did. Did you not do it?
Ekin.
Did you or did you not do it?
Yes, I did do it.
Okay, so when I stated, I won't be just bringing up things that aren't factual. These things are factual.
All right, so go ahead, throw it in my face.
Who knows? It may even come up later on in this show. I don't even know. I don't even know where it may come up at, but it may come up in this show.
Well, for anyone in Ekin's position, just be forgiving and understand that why people do some things that may seem, a little left. Be understanding. Unlike Ekin.
Oh, unlike Ekin.
I'm kidding. Oh my God, I'm kidding.
Good thing I've started drinking coffee in the middle of the day, just so you know that I've started that thing. I don't even know how it started. But you know what, Brittany, I am glad though. I am glad that, that we can talk about these things. I am. And this is actually, honestly, I can say, I feel like it's making me a better me, because we're not arguing. You were allowed to talk. I was allowed to speak my piece. You were allowed to type me the bullshit text message. I read it. I type back. You know what I'm saying? But
okay.
but it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're a little closer.
We are.
Yeah, we're a little closer to me going, hey, Brittany, remember that time that you told me to take that picture down? That's what we're closer to. We're closer to that.
You're never going to let me live it down. I'm always going to owe you free drinks. It's like going to be a thing. It's always going to be that.
Brittany, I don't want to have to throw that in your face, but yeah.
But you will.
Yeah, I will. I will, I will. But I will say again, though, just because people don't say this enough, I appreciate you standing up and being having the discussion about it and us facing it, together, however we got here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate it, and I have to respect that. I do. And I was heated at the time. I've talked to a few people, and some of them wanted to call you some names, and I wouldn't allow that.
And I know, and you know what? I know, because that's what people do. The friends do. Friends always want to, blah, 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 about whoever's hurting their friend. I get it. So say, if you're watching, that's okay. I forgive you for judging me.
You do know how my brother Jay is, right? You do know, so if he sees this or hears this when he does.
You too, Jay. You too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look, whatever happens now, that might be on you. Like, I'm just going to say, everybody doesn't know my brother Jay. You do. And now you've just kind of threw a challenge out there. That's a whole nother story that we'll get past. Brittany, let's have a talk this week, man. I don't know, Brittany. Like, this is a trying week for me. It's a really, and how do I get in this story? And I know, honestly, let's segue to how I wanted to kind of begin the show. I know we needed to get this off, and I'm glad that we did. Again, all jokes aside, and I know I play a lot. I really appreciate you, and I love you for being here with me every week. And we'll have these things. You'll cheat on me with the guys that you're in relationships with, and I'll have to deal with what they say like they're first. I'll have to deal with it. But when they leave, I'll still be here, and they'll come back. I'll still be here, but I have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story. But what I want to get into, something that's very serious this week, and we'll let Jason hit us with the audio first, and then we'll get into it.
Like the murder of an unarmed black man by a white cop, former cop in this case. Greg McMichael and his son Travis stalked and murdered 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia after Greg the Commando saw Arbery jogging through his neighborhood. A black man running in broad daylight? Thief! So Greg got his gun and got his son and got his son's gun, and they got into their truck, chased him down, and committed a modern-day lynching. 2 months ago when it happened, they claimed self-defense. The black man was reaching for my gun. I was afraid for my life. You know, the typical police playbook whenever they murder somebody. Thankfully, video came out, and the district attorney wants to take it to a grand jury. Originally, the DA said he couldn't charge them because the guns were legal. They have a right to pursue a suspect and a right to protect themselves. But Ahmaud Arbery wasn't a fucking suspect of anything. This guy just made that shit up and then decided he was guilty and decided to fucking execute him. You're telling me if I don't like somebody, I can just say they're a suspect, I can then chase them down, and if they have a problem, I can kill them and claim self-defense? That's what you're fucking telling me? And you're not even going to try to arrest me? You're just going to take my word for it and call it a fucking day? Holy fuck. This is the same shit as Trayvon Martin's murder. The same fucking shit. Crazy part is it happened 3 days before the 8th anniversary of Trayvon Martin's murder. Unfortunately, the same shit is going to happen. Yeah, the video came out. Great. Of course, the video showed that they shot at him first. Then he tried to get the gun away. Great. Obviously, it's a fucking murder. But if you think video evidence is going to bring any type of justice, I think you've forgotten that this is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Wow. Yeah. That is, his name is Prophet Huggy on Instagram. And it's one thing to play the news story, but I kind of wanted to get the story from somebody who I felt was real out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because the newscast has a certain amount of political correctness that they adhere to, which isn't a bad thing. But I felt when I saw this guy on Instagram with that post that he kind of laid it out to kind of give us, what's going on with Ahmaud Arbery and this shooting up in Brunswick, Georgia. And I guess if I could say I was feeling a certain way before we get deeper into this, I'm hashtagged out, Brittany. I can't say I necessarily feel unsafe, but I can say that when I'm in certain situations, I feel like they could go either way. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sad case. It's a sad state of affairs when a video has to come out again in order for it to even get this kind of attention that it's getting, because we've got a narrative that's been pushed, you know what I'm saying, for at least 2 months. And let me give you some backstory on this of some other things that I got. We got the part that the young man who got killed, black, 25 years old, Ahmaud Arbery, and he was out jogging. Simple. He was out jogging. That is what he was doing. That part now is undisputed, period. We got that part. Now, Gregory McMichael and his son Travis, from what I'm gathering from everything that I'm hearing now, they were, from the story that they gave at first, they were in the belief that he was a burglar that had been doing stuff in their neighborhood, and they finally knew who it was, right? Now, the story that also got, and get this part now, Gregory, from what I understand, the dad was the only witness in all of the evidence being taken when this whole thing went down. And keep in mind that we are now in May, but this happened in February. Yeah. This happened in February of 2020, which is what, March, April, May, 3 months ago, about 3 months ago, right? Give or take a couple of weeks, but 3 months ago. Now, the other disturbing part of this is Gregory is a retired police officer, from what I understand, and a retired investigator for the DA's office up there in Brunswick, Georgia, which throws in a whole bunch of other things into this case, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got nobody's been prosecuted. Supposedly there's not enough evidence. But of course, this video just comes out. Now, here's the stuff that I've been finding about the video. This is why the video bothered me. The video bothered me for the longest time because if you see the video, Gregory's still in the back of the pickup truck. His son Travis gets out of the truck with the shotgun that ultimately kills Ahmaud, right? Mm-hmm. My whole question was the whole time, though, was where did the person shooting the video come from?
Right.
And I don't have his name handy. But now, from what I'm getting, the backstory is that guy was involved. And give me a second, because I got a whole nother video that's coming from Jermaine Dupri that we're going to play the audio from, but I'm giving you the story so far that we can catch everything up. I was like, where did the video come from? Why would this because that's normally when a person shoots a video in these kind of situations or anything that's happened, something is happening first to make them pull the phone out. Right. But if you're watching this video, which I'm sure most of us have seen it by now, this is just a simple guy jogging. And you're like, why would they be filming him jogging? Right. Why? And it kept bothering me. Why would they be filming him jogging? Turns out that the guy that's doing the filming is in cahoots with the dad and son, because what happened was he's following him. The dad and son have pulled up ahead of him, and that's why they're stopped to cut him off. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Now it's also coming out. And again, I still want to play this audio by Jermaine, which we'll get to in a minute. Now it's coming out also that the video has been around for a while. And what happened is, have you ever seen this movie called Menace to Society? It's an old school movie.
Yeah.
In Menace to Society, at the very beginning, there's a killing in a convenience store of a Korean couple, of an Asian couple, by a young black kid. When he kills them, he takes the videotape. When he takes the videotape, one of the main things that keeps reoccurring in the movie is stop showing people the videotape. Stop showing your friends, because he's all proud. Yo, you see how I shot these people? You see? Because it's a movie. He's a young kid. He's proud that he did this, right? But the recurring theme of the movie is, yo, stop showing people the videotape, because at some point it's going to get to the cops and they're going to have evidence of what you did. Mm. From what I'm understanding now, that video has been going around to a set of friends for a good minute now. One of the friends evidently felt guilty and leaked it to a local radio station, or to a radio station. They posted it on either YouTube or their website. It was up for a couple of days, but because of the craziness of it, it got taken down. Mm-hmm. That's how the video first started to get out there. You understand what I'm saying? So the video's been around, because I was for the longest time like, who and why did they film the video? Like, where did they come from? You're following this dude. You're following a jogger. Why would you even be doing that to get this? Okay. Now, Jason, before we get any further, because I think I ran ahead a little bit, because I want to get this Jermaine Dupri part about the jogger. I mean, the guy and the actual video. Jason, can we get that right now?
Earlier tonight, I posted a message from the Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and one of the comments that came in is from Lena _8334. She says, the video that everyone is watching of the murder was not captured by an innocent bystander. The person, William Bryan, that was filming the murder was an accomplice. He followed behind Travis and Gregory McMichael in his own car, filming the hate crime. And then she goes on to say that they sent the video to their friends, allegedly bragging about what had happened. And then, the Menace to Society shit happened, where one of the friends showed it. One of the friends, she says, had a guilty conscience, and then they basically leaked it and let people see it. Thank you for that person, anyway. But I feel like that's enough, man. That's all that needs to be said. That's all we need to hear.
That is the chaos right there. Because, and I'll let you give your thoughts in a second. The craziness to me is, if we don't have no video, if we never get this video,
yes,
the whole narrative that's been put out here is that this dude he's a thief. We caught him running through the neighborhood. We were attempting to do a citizen's arrest. The wrestling over the gun occurred. He attacked my son, and that's how he got killed. I don't know. I don't know how many more hashtags I can do. I'm not even sure how to feel right now as a black dude. And it's not like I even think that this country's bad. I don't even, not for once do I think every cop is bad. Not for once do I think every person that is not of my nationality is bad. I also understand this narrative that is trying to be pushed now about, well, if you look statistically, blacks are killing more blacks. Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not happening either. But at the same time,
it's not even what it's right. It's different. It's not, has nothing to do with this.
Right. It's such a crazy narrative that we have to have video, right? We got this video. And even with the video, we still have this doubt about what really happened out there.
And this video that was like a few months ago, that's
Right.
when it released a few months ago, and we're just now finding out about it, you know, and it's like, why how can something like that pass through and not, you know, immediately be such a huge red flag that the whole world would be talking about it? I think, you know, like the video it's so hard to watch. Like you don't even understand how it escalated to that and then I saw the video a few times because I couldn't believe that it was real. I was like, this is so, I'm just like, what do you mean this video has been around for a while? What do you mean it's been here for a minute now? Like, and then these people have no charges?
Right.
They're just free. They're good. There's nothing. And like they're in one of the what I heard someone saying was like, how can we pretend that like, okay, so I have so many thoughts on this. I'm sorry. I'm just like still wrapping my head around it because it's so sick and twisted.
Right.
How these men have no charges. How if someone was burglarizing a house, how is that okay? How is that the response? It wasn't your house. The guy's on the street running with nothing in his hands, nothing on him.
Right.
What are you doing? Why is there a death now? Why is there a death? How did that become a murder?
Well, I want to address something that you asked, and you asked how did it get to this? And being who I am and being Black, urban, I can first off tell you, and we can go back to Trayvon Martin. Let's go back to Trayvon Martin, right? Even before this, right? Let's go back to Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin pretty much was in the same situation, right? He went to the store. He's minding his business. A young kid. Some dude sees him. The word that comes to mind is preconceived notion, but he basically he wanted to say Trayvon was something. Well, no, he just perceived that he was something. A Black kid with a hoodie. He's a thug. He's this, that, and the other, right?
Right.
Right. From everything and then of course it becomes let's use the stand your ground law. Okay. With Trayvon Martin, what happened was you bothered me, you harassed me, you followed me. When we finally get in a fight, because you've done all these things to escalate the situation,
right.
I'm beating your ass, and now you pull a gun, and because of the technicalities of the law, you use the stand your ground law because you felt for your life after you escalated this whole situation.
Yes.
And if you're watching that video, this kid, Ahmaud, he goes to run around the truck. Now, if somebody's coming at me with a shotgun, immediately my next reaction is I got to get you off me. I got to do something. That's why, you know, and they're bringing up like, yo, you see he's throwing these punches. Bro, you came at me with a shotgun.
Yeah, what am I going to do?
What am I supposed to be doing here? Right. What am I supposed to be doing here? And then they go to the whole other thing that they've thrown in. Just like I said, that's why the Trayvon Martin thing comes to mind with me with this is they were talking about they're doing a citizen's arrest. I looked up that law, right? In a citizen's arrest in that area and even in Georgia, period, first of all, to make a citizen's arrest, you actually have to see the person, the actual crime that they did. Like, I can't hear you in a store and go, I think he's stealing something over there. I have to see that person doing something in order to say, that's why I'm making this citizen's arrest. Like you said, right now, there is no evidence that they saw him do anything. Everything comes out and says they thought he was somebody else. And the only thing that we got to go on that is, oh, he's Black. That's it. That's all we got. You know what I'm saying? And people are wondering why like this uproar is happening. You know, like if you go to LeBron James' page, it's like so many people in this uproar about, you know, like I said, pushing a narrative of like, there's so much Black on Black crime. How come we aren't talking about this? How come you're trying to make it a race thing? The problem with that whole thing is this dude wasn't involved in any of that. Mm-hmm. This dude right here was jogging, being a model citizen, just working on his health.
That's it.
And suddenly in a confrontation with 2 trucks chasing him, guns drawn. Then we go for the cover up. How are we supposed to feel about that? No. You can throw anything else that you want to in that. Like me, like, and this is why when you look like me and you get pulled over, everything is so tense. Like everything is so. And again, not for once do I think that every cop is bad. But when these stories are like this and boom, 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 you have no other choice but to be like, yo, like I'm on guard. Like I'm on guard because it can go and the narrative can be twisted so quick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, and it often is. It is so many times. It's scary. One of my best friends, she is so afraid of getting pulled over, like terrified of it. because she's black. And like, that's it. That's just her being black. She's like, I just don't know, Brittany. I don't feel safe even being pulled over for like speeding or something. You know what I mean? Like, and this is like a girl who has a career, you know what I mean? Like, she runs a company. Like, this is not someone who is uneducated. You know what I mean? But it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the color of your skin. It's a real problem here in the United States. There's so many cases of this happening where it's usually a white person or Caucasian person killing a minority person in a situation like this. When that happens, there's much more of where nothing happens. There's no justice served. Right. Then there is justice served, which is why this fear and this anger that I think comes from the black community is so like just. Yes. How can you not? And how can we pretend it's not real or it doesn't exist?
Yeah, there is and another major issue too that bothers me about this whole thing is it's like we have to go through 30 different things before we can get to even trying to get justice. Because going through the 30 things does not necessarily mean that you're going to get justice. It means you have to go to the 30 things to try to get justice. You know what I'm saying? And again, I look at numerous examples. Like I said, I just watched the OJ thing again, and the Rodney King case is big in that thing when you're talking about the OJ Made in America documentary, right? And one of the guys in that said, and again, I know we're bringing up a few different examples of things here. One of the guys in that goes, the Rodney King beating, what made it so crazy about the Rodney King beating is like there were like 6 to 8 cops out there, right? And when they went back to the station, not one of them thought to say in their report that something went wrong out there. Nobody said anything. So if that camera's not in the doorway or in the window from that person recording Rodney King getting beat, we're never hearing that story.
Exactly.
You know, we're never hearing that story. And it's such a different thing of like, when I talk to my son, like there's a different conversation than some of my other friends that aren't black about if their son gets pulled over. Like I have to tell BT like, yo, like hands on the wheel where they can see him, keep your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe, just chill, be very chill, no sudden moves. When they're at me like, yo, I need to get my wallet to get you my license. I need to go in the glove compartment to get you the registration for my car. Like everything needs to be a well-calculated move because it's already tense from the beginning. Like it's tense from the beginning. And this was made tense by them escalating the situation.
Yeah.
I don't even like.
I just feel like now. What I did love about what Jermaine Dupri said also in his video was that he was like, you know, I hope that this gets in the right hands. Like, you know, what's Oprah's best friend, Gail? Gail. He was like, Gail, I want you to cover this story. You know what I mean? Like you need your own people of your own black community talking about who have these platforms to talk about it because it happens way more than we even like to believe. Right. You know, but in order for justice to happen, we need to be aware of it. And I really hope that what it looks like what's happening with Ahmaud is that because so much, outpour and outrage has happened, that they're having to, even though they already said, oh, he was innocent, the 2 guys that, killed him, that, oh, well, they were within their rights. Well, I hope that they're reopening that case, that there is going to be some, there has to. Well, then again, you think there has to. And then so many cases, they're not. So I'm hoping that within his death, that Ahmaud, just like with Trayvon Martin, that some changes can be made after for the better to, not have the same thing happen again or as often, if that makes any sense.
But at this point, I'm not even sure what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're even looking at something as simple as what's going on with the social distancing, right? Like, did you see any videos out of New York this past weekend?
I did. Weren't they like all crowded?
Well, it's just the way that things were handled, though. Like, like if you look at a lot of gatherings that had more Caucasian people presence, the handling of social distancing was, here's a ticket. Whereas when you were more like in an urban setting, it was like people were getting thrown on the ground, people were getting, hit. And it was just like, there's always this tension when it comes, especially to, like I said, me personally, I don't mind complying with the law. I have no problem with that. Right. I do have a problem, though, if you pull me over, like, I want to know why I was pulled over. And that's not being smart. Like, I want to know why I was pulled over. You what? Like, I don't have any lights out. Like, why'd you pull me over? Because I'm in this car that you think is too nice for me to have. Like, I just want to know these things. And so when you get in a situation like this, it's like, it's another hashtag. But is any real change happening? I think that's where I'm at with this thing right now. Like, is there any real, like, even, Joe Biden chimed in. I don't know if I care. I don't he just chimed in and said, that it was a travesty or whatever. But I'm over people saying that. When are we gonna fix the actual problem?
Well,
go ahead.
Think about it too. The dad Gregory, he said he used to be a cop before.
Right.
So this is a man who was working in law enforcement. Do you think that those maybe behaviors and prejudices were not present then when he was in law enforcement himself? I'm sure they were. So, and I think too, what the police academy, whatever the training is, they need to integrate interracial understandings, cultural differences, that needs to be. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, a class can't just change a racist. Well, no, but there are some people who maybe have been taught to fear the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Right. There's that where I'm sure they have conversations where they do, aside from being racist, I'm not talking about racist. I'm just talking about people who are misguided, who don't understand a different culture and who may be influenced by, oh, well, this is my colleague, I can't go against him. And then the whole group goes against me. There are some cases of that. But I do think that if you educate people, if you teach people about different cultures, if you make people work with different cultures, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see a law enforcement team and they're mostly Caucasian, there's an issue there, because how can they understand the Black community, the minority, the brown community, if they don't have them in their own circle to better understand? You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's our job in our own workplaces to educate people, to help people love and see more of the same in each other than differences. Right. Does that change overnight? No, but I do think that there is some way that we can move in a better direction, Ekin, because I don't think this ever goes away, unfortunately. Racism will always be alive. Right. But we can, there are things that we can do. We can address it. We can get justice for those individuals, and that's what I think that we have to do for Ahmaud in some way. And I don't know what that is yet, but other than them being locked up forever,
right. Do you feel like your cousins and do you have a brother? You don't have a brother.
Oh yeah, I have 4 siblings. Yeah. Okay.
Do you guys ever talk? Do they feel like, like I said, I feel like as a Black man, do they ever feel like that as a Latino man? Do they ever feel like it's different for them when they have to deal with, authority or law enforcement or just other races? Do they feel like it's kind of a tense issue a lot of times?
To be completely honest, 1,000%, more so than I even thought. I was very naive, especially when I went out to college and kind of, did my own thing, and, they were going to school and stuff, and they were younger than me. But we've had conversations in the past few years where I had no idea they were harassed by the cops because of their last name. The family was not, some of my family is not known for, great things, whatever it is. Everybody has those kind of things in their families. But anyway, my particular family, they're very well known for that. That doesn't mean they're all bad apples or whatever the case. Right. So my brothers and my sisters were picked on, in school, by the police themselves. If ever something was wrong, they were always grouped in and kicked out or whatever it was. So, and that's just in a school setting, you know what I'm saying? But which is also real life, but even with just law enforcement in the school, yes, they felt that. They don't feel like they were treated equal. They were looked down on. They felt very even to the point where my brother was giving up on his dreams because he felt like they were always trying to stop him, Think about that with any minority. How often, injustice in law enforcement, when that happens, how that can break a person down, So yes, and my father's experienced it owning a business. He's had cases where people won't work with him because the people who give out the contracts, they want to give the contracts to other Caucasians. And my dad's work, I promise you, I know it. He's one of the hardest working men. The man does not take days off. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with his business and his work ethic. And my mom, they've built an amazing business, but they've dealt with that where they don't receive work because they're not Caucasian and they know it. So yeah, it's in the brown community as well, and it's just.
What's the craziness is I saw a meme one time and the meme just keeps coming to mind. Every time something like this, the meme comes to mind. It says, this stuff that's happening, it's not new. It's just now it's on video.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, right? You think about this thing right here. This story was already told. It was already told that, we saw this guy. He looked like somebody that was committing crimes in the neighborhood. He got aggressive. Him and my son got fighting over the gun. And then you see the video and it's like, well, that ain't exactly what happened.
Exactly.
And then what's also crazy is how what baffles me is how you watch something like that, right? And you're looking at it, you go, is that what you saw? And you go, is that what you saw?
Right?
You're like, wait, so that's really what you saw? Like I said, I'll go back to the Rodney King video, right? And Mark Furman, who was very big in that OJ case, when the video is playing and they're playing a video in a documentary, they go to Mark Furman. And Mark Furman goes, one thing could alleviated all of that, the chokehold. If we hadn't have gotten rid of the chokehold, they had gotten rid of that in the LA Police Department. I'm thinking to myself, first of all, Rodney King is on the ground getting kicked, hit with batons and all, hit with police sticks and all this other stuff. First of all, if you anybody, you're trying to get out of the way of that. This hurts, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get out of that the chokehold would have alleviated all of that? You know what I'm saying? So you're watching these same videos of people and you're like, is that really what you saw? And this whole thing right here, like they said, his mom hasn't even watched the video. And I bet that she can't. It's like, how can you as a mom, what your son is? And again, everybody isn't perfect, but this dude was legitimately out for a jog.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And how they felt this is what you do. We say, okay, we got him. Let's shoot him. Like, what?
Right.
So
and then they went on about their business after it happened too, from what I understand.
Apparently, from what Jermaine Dupri said too, was that person that commented, was she the one that said that they were laughing about it? Like, yeah,
they're passing it around in like a circle of people. Like the messages is like, it's like me having a funny video and I send it to you. You be like, yo, you got to see this, and you send it to somebody else. So it starts going around like that in a circle.
Right. And then, oh my goodness, there was another case of a black man. He was on his Facebook Live. I don't know. He was definitely being pulled over, but he wasn't pulling over or something. I don't know. But it escalated to the point where he was killed right there.
He got tased first or something?
He got tased first. But didn't they catch the police officers at the end saying this is going to be a closed casket, laughing about it? Because they had shot him so many times. Mm-hmm. Disgusting. And they should be tried to. Yeah. And so that's the thing. These videos, though, the video cameras, that's one way, Ekin. I do think that in some way is helping.
And let me be clear on this too. My problem with the police thing is when the cops do something, again, my uncle was a cop in New Jersey, so there's no way I'm going to think all cops are bad because my love for my uncle is ridiculous before he passed away. But on the side of the car, it says to protect and serve. So I should feel comfortable with you. You understand what I'm saying? I should feel safe. If you pull me over for running a stop sign, I broke the law. I get it. I'm okay with. Like I said, again, I know some people have done some things to put cops in compromising positions.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not one of those people, but I feel really uncomfortable getting pulled over. And again, because I feel like you're supposed to be upheld at a different standard because you are the police. You understand what I'm saying? So I should never feel like you're doing anything that's questionable. Yes, it says to protect and serve right on the car. I feel like that, and that's my problem when the police are involved in things that are this crazy. Because like I said, I hold the cops at a higher standard because they are the police, and they're supposed to be here for everyone's safety. So I don't really want to hear the excuses about. Like the one incident back where the guy was in the car and he told the police officer, I'm licensed to carry a concealed weapon, but I'm reaching for my wallet because you told me you want to see my license. And when he reached for it, the cop opened up on him with his girlfriend and kid in the car. You don't remember that incident?
No.
Yeah. This guy was in the car and the cop.
And he communicated it to him.
He communicated I'm a licensed guard. He was a teacher at that. He's a licensed to carry a gun. And the cop, he's got his gun right. He's like, look, dude, you're telling me to get my license. I'm reaching for my license because you told me to, with his daughter and his girlfriend in the car. And when he reaches for that, the cop unloads on him and let him go on him. And he killed him right there in the car.
Oh my God.
And the girlfriend happened to have that on Facebook. She was on Facebook Live with that one.
And the fact that she felt inclined, like, I have to record this. I have to go live with this. Like, that's a whole nother part of the brain to me that I'm like, or part of where our world is right now, where that is what you have to do. You do have to get your own documentation, because who knows, his body cam, oh, the footage is missing, oh, the footage can't be released, or they don't release it till years later when, because too much time has passed by now. You know what I mean? Like, there's tactics that they use to make us either forget, not know, be prolonged, so that they can cover up things, so you have to. And that's so sad to me that we have to record these, that especially the minority communities have to record themselves when being pulled over, because just in case.
Right. Playing devil's advocate, though, let me ask you this. Do you think that sometimes pulling the camera out escalates situations?
It can, absolutely. And I think that, but here's the thing. Look, if you're, and I think there's a way to do it, Ekin. Now, trust, every personality is different. I think there's officers that get annoyed if they see a camera, no matter what, no matter which way you do it, but I do think if you're taunting with it, like, then of course it's going to be agitating. The officer's going to be like, I don't know. I think, yes, you can, but at the same time, I want you to still record. I still want you to record, maybe not in a, look at me, I'm recording you just in case, but
It's a weird time. It's a weird time.
It is a weird time.
I just know I'm tired of hashtags. Like I'm over hashtags. I just feel like, because I don't feel like we're getting anywhere. I feel like every few months we get one of these, or every few weeks we get one of these, and I can't say I feel unsafe, because I don't really find myself in many situations like that. I don't think I have, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm like the best example. I think I've found it as crazy, and this is a whole nother show. I think I've found it sometimes in the workplace, where it's like, really? Like, I'm hostile? Like, you saying some really foul shit, but because my voice is a little deeper than yours, now I'm the hostile black guy? Like, really? Did you, like, this is a whole nother story. Like, I literally had a coworker, and white chick who was doing some definite foul, some like lie. She was doing all kinds of foul stuff. And so I'm in her office, and she's talking to me, and it's me, her, and both of our supervisor, and we're having a talk, and my passion is coming out, but I'm telling the truth.
Right.
And she goes to me, goes, can you lower your voice? Can you call? And I'm like, first of all, this is not what you're going to do to me. And this is a whole nother thing. It's like, first of all, this is what, you're standing in this meeting, you're lying. Like, you're clearly lying.
Right.
Like, I'm telling the truth, and I'm not cursing at you. I'm not calling you out of your name. It's just my passion when I speak. Right. And suddenly you're trying to make me feel like I'm the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sitting in this meeting lying in front of people that I care, that hold me in a different regard. You know what I'm saying? That hold me in a different regard. Like, you're lying, and because your voice is softer, you think that your point is more valid. You know what I'm saying? Which is a whole nother story, but it made me think of that. I don't know. Like, I don't even know where to end this at. I just hope there's some justice served here. There's a lot to unpack with this whole story. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing to me, but I think in the end of it all, it's going to become a lot to unpack, because there's going to be, if they wind up getting to court and all this other stuff between the motions, and what people always try to say, you're like I saw this in LeBron's comments. You don't know what happened before this. You're just trying to get all of this context out of a 25-second video. Well, kind of all I need to know is that this dude was jogging with no weapon, tried to go around your truck. You pull a shotgun on me, dude, I'm in a certain place too.
Yeah, exactly. There's, I think, and this is one of those footages. No, he still didn't deserve to die. Don't forget that part. The man didn't need to die. If he robbed something, let's just say he did. Was that worth his life? No, it never is. It never is. Now, if he was intruding in someone's home, he was inside the house, I get it, because you're in fear for your life. I don't know what this person's going to do to me. But if that was the case, that he's just apparently robbed, he was stealing in the neighborhood, and the man is running on the street, like you said, unarmed, nothing, not with anything on him, and you think that was just to shoot him. No, that's not what guns are for. That's not self-defense. That's not citizen's arrest.
But even simpler, though, it's not even worth confronting him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're confronting a dude first of all, that you didn't see what you say that you saw. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't see him rob anything. You think that he looks like somebody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, let's be clear on that part. You didn't see him rob anything. You're thinking that he resembles somebody. And the only thing we really got to go on is that because you think that this person is black, here comes a black guy jogging through the neighborhood. So it's got to be him. So then you guys pack up with guns. So you're creating a situation. You understand what I'm saying? That's my problem with this whole thing. You're creating a situation here. If you call the police and you say, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on him from a distance because you're telling the cops he's on this street now, I probably even take that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're saying, I just saw this guy come out of this house and steal a TV. He's going such and such a street. Okay, officer, this is the street he's on. But that ain't what you did. You pulled a truck in front of him. You got a truck following him. 3 guys with guns.
What else are you going to do? You're backed up into a corner. It's fight or flight. It's fight or flight.
Exactly.
You know, and man, I'm so glad he got a few swings on that dude, though. I will say that I'm thankful that he got a few swings on him because, oh, my God.
Yeah, like I said, again, I'm not even sure. Like, it's a lot to unpack. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about it and addressed it and definitely get your thoughts on it. But it is a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it really is.
So I'm just hoping that, we get some justice. And
we guys got to keep following that story and keep freaking writing to that. I got to write to that police department too, because I know that also helps too. When you write, mm-hmm. If enough people write, they have to address it. And then, so we can do that.
Yeah, like we got to find out, what is the website? What is the website? Like there's a website, isn't it? We got to find that.
Yeah, but we can repost it with this podcast.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we get that posted. I'm trying to find it. I'm looking it up right now because I think that we have to make sure that we do that part. We have to do, that has to be.
I think that's where we start, Ekin. Let's write them.
We have to make sure that we
because I want to know who was the what is it? I don't even know what rankings they do, but whoever said that made the call that they were within their right. I want their position questioned too.
Well, I think it all needs to be justified. I think when we make the post too, we'll get the website up in there because there's a website that and I hate it that I don't know it right off the bat right now.
We'll get it. That's cool. I mean, I didn't, we'll repost it. We'll let them know.
Good stuff. Well, that's going to do it for me this week. Does that do it for you?
Yeah. Well, I love you, Ekin.
Yeah, you're all right, Brittany.
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. As a black guy in America, I hope so.
It will, little by little, but we do our part, and that's all we can do.
Oh, you know what else we can do too? I was told this, and I was told to make sure that I put this out there on every edition of the podcast. In order to make change, we have to be involved. So when it's time to vote, make your vote count. That is one thing that definitely should happen. When it's time to vote, make your vote count wherever you are.
I agree. I love that.
Don't skip out on that because we can't keep talking about that we want change. And then when it comes time to vote or to understand what's going on in our general area, we keep walking past things that allow us to have a voice in that change.
Exactly. So that's what we do, Ekin. And when it comes closer to voting, we go and we let everybody know and we pressure everyone.
Yes. And if we take pictures at the polling place, we take pictures 6 arms length apart.
6 feet apart.
Not the 6 feet, just arms length, so I don't have to take them down.
Oh my God. I hate you.
Yeah, that part. Brittany, where can they find you on social media?
Hey, follow me at basicbritch_.
Yeah, I am DJ Ekin. It's real simple, at DJ Ekin. And of course, wherever you get your podcast fix, just search for us at Southern Hospitality. All right. Shouts out to Radio Influence and everybody else who continues to help this Southern Hospitality family grow. Brittany.
Thank you.
I may actually talk to you this week. I'm not sure yet. I'm getting over a few things.
I take your time.
Taking my time, man. We love y'all, man. We gone.
Okay, bye.